Hey yo, I'm the MMA loser and I'm back with another video. Today I want to do a prediction video for Arnold Almighty Allen versus Movsar Evloev and UFC 297, which is going to take place on January 20th. That is only 2 days are left. Wow, I wasn't paying attention to it. Now, without any further ado, let us just talk about this and this fight. This is supposed to be close to number one contender fight. I don't know. I don't think they're going to get the number one contender if they defeat each other. But if Evloev might get a shot at the title, considering what happens between uh, Ilya Topuria and Alexander Volkanovski. Evloev is, I believe he has a record of 17 wins, no losses, and Arnold Allen has a record of 19 wins and 2 losses. And for Arnold Allen, his losses have come against Max Holloway in his last fight, and prior to that, he lost his first fight when he made his professional debut, if I'm not wrong. But apart from that, he has 19 wins, which is a crazy, crazy record. Now, both of these fighters, they're very young. I think Arnold Allen is 29. Evloev is, I believe, 28 or 27. Evloev is also 29. So both of them are kind of entering their prime as fighters, kind of entering their prime as they're both of similar height. Evloev is 5'8", Allen is 5'7". Allen is a better striker. Evloev is the better grappler. We haven't seen Arnold Allen grapple a lot, but we know he can grapple. Can he grapple as good as Evloev? That will be the question, because Evloev will definitely have the wrestling advantage. Arnold Allen should have the striking advantage, but Evloev in his last fight did look quite good on the feet, but Diego Lopez, even on a 3-day or a 5-day notice, gave him some trouble. And I think Arnold Allen is a better fighter than Diego Lopez when it comes to striking. But Diego Lopez was like a really, really, really good submission artist. I think his grappling is probably one of the best in the featherweight division and might be one of the best overall in the in UFC. And Diego Lopez is probably one of my favorite fighters of UFC in 2023. He's definitely the breakout star of 2023. Now, apart from that, he has defeated Dan Ige, Hakim Dwadu, and Nicky Lenz. A really, really interesting thing about Evloev is that he haven't really won a finish in UFC. He has not finished a single opponent in UFC, whereas Arnold Allen has finished quite a number of fighters. He has finished Dan Hooker. He has finished, who else has he finished? Mats Burnell. Makwan Amirkhani, he did not finish him, but Alan Umar, he finished him. The last loss prior to Max Holloway in Arnold Allen's career was in 2014. Now, those are the stats. But let us not talk about how this fight can play out. I think Evloev might dominate this fight for like 3 rounds and win by a good unanimous decision or a close split decision just by stuffing takedowns like Merab Dvalishvili kind of a way. Evloev is a better striker than Merab. Evloev has better power than Merab, but as far as finishing abilities are concerned, I don't know how much of a finisher Evloev is. He has had 8 to 6, probably 8 fights in UFC right now, and he has not finished any of his fights. And compared to them, Arnold Allen is a better fighter, is a much more talented, much more well-rounded fighter compared to all the other fighters that Evloev has faced. Allen has fought quite a number of other fighters. He has fought Max Holloway, Calvin Kattar, Dan Hooker. That Calvin Kattar fight, I mean, it was an unfortunate injury that Calvin Kattar had. And in a Max Holloway fight, Arnold Allen kind of had his couple of moments, but that Max won that fight with a barrage. Like Max was winning that fight from round 1 to round 5. Probably the last or a second last round. Allen probably won the second last round. I'm not sure. I do not remember that fight quite well, but I know that Max Holloway won that fight decisively. I remember that. In the last round, I think Holloway even got Allen down. But that's Max Holloway. I do not think Evloev has the style of Holloway. Evloev is a good striker, but I don't think he's even close to Holloway. He knocked out Dan Hooker, Dan Hooker was really dehydrated, or I don't know. He should not have been fighting in featherweight division. Sadiq Yusuf is a good fighter. He defeated him. Nick Lenz, I don't know much about Nick Lenz. Melendez. Wow, Gilbert was still fighting in 2019. Kind of weird, right? Gilbert Melendez out of all people. Jordan Rinaldi, Max Burnell, Makwan Amirkhani, Yawidzina Meza. He's been fighting in UFC since 2015. So that's a lot of years, probably 8 years now. So he is a veteran. Both of these people, both of these fighters, they're kind of prospects, but they're kind of also veterans because they're 29 and they have had a number of fights. Evloev is 17, Allen is 21 fights. So they're kind of in a similar stage of their career. Allen has the only difference is that Allen has fought against Holloway and lost, whereas Evloev has not fought anybody. Evloev is not the biggest name that Allen has fought, but Allen is the biggest name that Evloev is going to fight in UFC at this current moment. If Evloev defeats Arnold Allen, I can see him making a claim for the title. Now, will the UFC give him that title shot right after this? Depending on how he defeats Allen. If he wins by an unanimous decision or like a boarding weight decision, that mostly his fights are kind of boarding. I don't know. His fight with Diego Lopez was interesting, not because of Evloev. The fight with Evloev and Diego Lopez was interesting because of how good Diego Lopez was. Everybody counted Diego Lopez out. Even I counted him out. But when I saw Diego Lopez in that fight, he even had Evloev in some really, really bad positions. Uh, I don't think Allen has that kind of jiu-jitsu. I think his jiu-jitsu is pretty good, but I don't think he's as good as Diego Lopez on the ground. But on the feet, I think Allen is a better striker. I don't know how good his wrestling is. We haven't seen Allen do a lot of wrestling because Allen is mostly the boxer. He's mostly the one who's pushing the pace on the feet. I think he has a chance to win this fight, but for some reason, I just want to give this fight to Evloev by unanimous decision. By a really, really remember how the Brazilian Almeida, I forgot his name, the heavyweight guy, the Almeida. He recently defeated Derek Lewis. Yeah, we all were really angry about how he defeated Derek Lewis. He just laid on top of him and could not really do anything for like 5 rounds. I think Evloev might win this fight in that very same manner. Now, can Evloev finish him? I don't know if Evloev can finish him with a strike, but he can definitely. I don't know, man. I don't know. I just haven't seen enough of Evloev. The last fight of Evloev that I saw was against Diego Lopez, and in that fight, uh, the person who impressed me more was actually Diego Lopez. Everybody was talking more about Diego Lopez, and after that, Evloev. I think Evloev hasn't fought anybody since he fought Diego Lopez, right? Yes, he last fought Diego Lopez in 2023. After that, Diego Lopez fought probably 3 or 4 times. I think Diego Lopez fought like 3 times, 2 times after that. Yep. He lost to Diego Lopez. Lopez lost to Evloev in 2020 in May 6th. Then he fought against Gavin Tucker and at 17. He finished both of those fighters in the very first round. See, and all of them in like 1 minute 30-second mark. Kind of interesting dude, Diego Lopez. I'm more excited about Diego Lopez than I'm about these two. Um, Frankly speaking, Arnold Allen hasn't really finished anybody in the last couple of fights apart from Dan Hooker, and Dan Hooker that fought in featherweight was not really that healthy. Arnold Allen is like 5'9". They're saying I don't know if he's exactly 5'9". He might be a bit smaller than 5'9". I don't know, man. Both of these fighters, Evloev and Allen, I think they're of similar height. I think Evloev might be a more. I think Evloev is a bit bigger. He's a bit physically stronger because he's a grappler. He's a wrestler. So I think these people tend to be physically more. I would say they tend to be physically a bit aggressive. Like I don't know how to explain it. They're just strong. They're stronger than like if you're a wrestler and I'm a non-wrestler and both of us we have a similar body frame, similar body weight. You'll be stronger than me. It's just that they have a better ability to manipulate your weight and they have a better ability to manipulate their weight and use it as an advantage. I do not know how to explain it in the best way. You have to wrestle to get my point. But everything said and done, I think Arnold Allen can win the fight by unanimous decision. That's the way I think Arnold Allen might win by a split decision on the feet, whereas Evloev can win the fight by a split decision on the ground. I'm leaning more towards Evloev by a unanimous decision on the ground by laying on top of Arnold Allen, just like Corey Sandhagen did against Rob Font, just like that Almeida guy, I forgot his name, the Brazilian Almeida who fought against Derek Lewis, how he wins his fight, just like Marab. I mean, Merab doesn't even win by then. Merab just shoots takedown after takedown after takedown, and that's like a weird way of winning fights. But if you a win is a win. I respect a winner more than I respect anybody. It doesn't matter how you win at the end of the day, but you got to. But yes, if you win by a really exciting way, by a knockout, by a submission, by some kind of a crazy wave like a slam, then of course people you get more fans. More fans, that means more eyeballs, and Dana and the UFC brass, that is Sean Shelby, Mick Maynard, they're all going to push for you to become a champion. That means you get a title shot faster than the rest of the people, or you talk a lot of nonsense, and or like you, if you have the ability to generate a lot of buzz around your fights just by talking, then also you can get a close, then you can get a title shot like Kobe Covington did, and then he ended up losing that fight like miserably. I don't even like that dude, man. Really annoying. But let's not talk about Kobe. Let's talk about Movsar Evloev and Arnold Allen. I think on the feet, Allen is better. When on the ground, I think Evloev is better. They're both pretty good, well-rounded fighters. Allen has fought 21 times. Evloev has fought 17 fights. So the amount of experience that these two fighters have is very, very similar. The best fighter that Allen has fought till date is Max Holloway. For Evloev, Allen is going to be the best fighter that he's going to face. Allen is pretty strong. His dad was a bodybuilder. You can see him doing deadlifts in here. I don't even know. That's probably 150, 160 kgs. I don't even know how heavy that thing is. Probably 200 kgs. Who knows? He's a strong guy. Is that even Arnold Allen? The dude looks jacked. You should see his dad. But okay, I'm going to give my final prediction. UFC 297, the opener of the main card. Arnold Allen versus Evloev in the featherweight division. I see Movsar Evloev winning this fight by a unanimous decision, by a ground and pound, lay and pray kind of a situation. So yes, that is going to be my official prediction for UFC 297. Arnold Allen versus Movsar Evloev. Movsar Evloev is going to win this fight by laying on top of Arnold Allen or by grappling. I'm not saying that Movsar Evloev is not a good fighter. I like it. I like the way he fights. I just hope he's a bit more aggressive and he somehow, I hope he does this, whatever he's doing here, I hope he does this in the fight. And with that, I guess this is it from this video. And if you enjoyed the video, drop a like and please subscribe to my channel. I've got very few subscribers. And in 2024, I want to get to 1,000 subscribers. And with that, peace out, guys.